Doing hard things is, well, hard. And finding the motivation and that mental strength to move forward even when you don't want to, it's not easy. But as managers, we often have to make the hard decision or give that tough feedback or move our team forward despite the challenges that lie ahead. So thankfully today, we are going to learn a little bit more about how to gain that mental strength to do hard things. Today's guest is Lei Wang. Lei is a renowned international motivational speaker and executive coach, celebrated for her historic achievement as the first Asian woman to complete the Explorer's Grand Slam, which involves conquering the highest peak on each continent and skiing to both the North and South Poles. Through her incredible journey, Lei has developed a unique perspective on resilience, leadership, and personal growth, empowering individuals and organizations to reach new heights and achieve extraordinary success. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I share new episodes and other tips for managers every week. Now here's the conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today, Lei. I'm so excited to talk about how to deal with challenge and get through the hard parts of work and being a leader and dealing with a team and other humans. Because while a lot of things we talk about on the show are like the joys of building relationships and doing great things, a lot of work is just like really hard. And it's not always easy to show up every day and deal with the hard parts of what it means to be in the workforce. So thank you for coming on and sharing your story and sharing your wisdom with me today.
Thank you, Mimi. It's a great honor to be here. Thank you.
All right. Well, I know I told you already, like this isn't a personal stories thing, but I feel like it might be helpful for people to just hear a little bit of the types of adversity that you have faced in your own life, just so that we get the grounding of where your thoughts and ideas and experiences are coming from. So can you just tell us a little bit about some of your major accomplishments and what it took to get there?
I started in traditional career track in technology and corporate finance. So my background was computer science, the MBA in finance and marketing. So imagine that's normal education you get into a big corporate job. And that's how I started. And then unexpectedly in 2004, inspired by some documentary movies, I had this wild dream that I want to go climb Mount Everest. And remind you, I came from Beijing, a typical city girl, and I grew up in China as a typical Asian kid. I knew nothing but book, study, exam, school, work. So that's what my typical life was. So when I just suddenly got this wild idea in 2004, that was like a joke to everyone. Even myself thought it was just a daydream. But for something at that point I didn't understand was I just went full on in. I took all kinds of training classes, joined clubs, and started work towards my dream. And when I showed up on Mount Everest in 2010, which was 6 years later, after 6 years of training, I showed up as, well, and one thing I couldn't change, I was the smallest one because I was only 5'1". And after so much training, so many years of training, I was still the slowest and the weakest. And that actually had been a constant theme throughout the years because everywhere I show up, I was the smallest one and I was often the only woman on the team. Before that, because at that time, there are not too many women in extreme sports, especially in something considered not so friendly environmental-wise, so harsh, and mostly I just climbed on a team that I'm the only woman. So imagine when you walk into base camp on Mount Everest and you saw in the eyes of those Sherpas the doubt. You know what they're saying. They say, what is this woman doing here? What does she have a business to do on this mountain? And not surprisingly, at the end of the trip, they confessed to me on day one, they had a secret bet. They unanimously voted me as the first one to quit. So imagine that it's not just a physical challenge, it's also the mental challenge all the time. You constantly see other stronger, more experienced climbers, the way that they look at you. But what's more surprising is one twist is I fell sick halfway through the expedition. While I was sick, I was sent off the mountain to recover in a village. And during those days, every day, I was seeing one strong, experienced climber quit. That just every day, what's going through your mind is, should I stay or should I go? Why did all those stronger, more experienced climbers give up? What do I do here? So every day, because expedition is 2 months, so every day you're constantly battling these questions in your mind. Should I stay or should I go? And that kind of mental challenge was the hardest.
Wow. Sounds incredibly intense. And I do not understand at all why you were possessed to do that, because it is so far from anything I would ever want to do. But it sounds like your passion for this wasn't stopped when you showed up, right? Like I could imagine you showing up in that moment and seeing the actual mountain and kind of seeing how people are responding to you and just saying, maybe this wasn't such a good idea, but you stuck with it and you finished the entire 2-month climb. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was very lucky to summit Everest on that trip. And that we started 25 climbers on my team. In the end, only 16 of us made it to the summit. And I was the only woman left. And because I successfully finished Everest in 2010, luckily I became the first Asian woman, first Asian American to climb the 7 summits and ski to both the North Pole and the South Pole.
You've obviously faced a lot of adversity for who you are in that world, and showing up as a woman, showing up as somebody who's small in stature. And you've also had to deal with the complexity and the challenge of fighting through moments where I imagine, because I have friends who climbed Kilimanjaro and they were telling me about how like their fingers felt like they were frostbitten. They couldn't feel their feet. There was pounding headaches and migraines from the air shortage. All of that is really hard to bear and to keep going forward. And while those are mostly physical sensations, bringing it into the workplace, I feel like there are many times when we are feeling frustrated and like ready to just jump ship and say like, I'm done with this team, or I'm done with this person, or I'm done with this project, or I'm done with this client. And we can't give up, right? We have to kind of say, well, no, unless you're going to quit your job. Most of the time, we have to figure out a way through it. And I'm guessing that you had many moments like that where you just had to figure out your way forward. Can you maybe share one of those moments with us, and kind of how did you play the mental game to keep going?
That's actually how to relate it to our daily work and life is something I constantly think about, because when I was on my climbing journey, I was able to see myself, how I changed over the years, especially when I went back to visit my previous colleagues. I can see, wow, I'm a totally different person now. And so that's constantly on my mind with how do I bring those lessons back to the community I came from, to my friend, to my old colleagues, to help people in everyday life. So that's something I constantly think about. And the most important thing, when in that kind of moment, what you're thinking is not about like, how do I reach that goal? How do I accomplish something? It's more think deeper why you are here doing this. So for example, on the mountain, those people are quitting because they see, yeah, the chance of summit is low and I'm now feeling so well. I'm not at my best. So they think, all right, this maybe success rate not that high, maybe better for me to go back home and come back later, or consider if there's something I want to do. But for me, it was different, because the start of this game, that's why the called Mighty Mouse, right? So I was tiny, I was small, I was think at the least likely to succeed. So actually, I didn't have such a high bar for myself. I was thinking, okay, I really don't know if this is something I can do. I don't know how far I can reach. But what I know why I'm here is because when I had that daydream, I wanted to show ordinary people how far you can reach, what you can accomplish by working hard. And so for me, on this mountain, my goal is not about, oh, I'm going to show you everyone I'm going to summit. It's like, I want to show you how far I can go, how high I can go on this mountain as an ordinary person, as a tiny little mouse. So I said, well, I'm not going to say no to myself. I'm not going to say, oh, I don't feel well enough to climb today. Oh, I don't feel this time. I want to see my best effort, unless the nature tells you you should back out because too dangerous, where the doctor, expert tell you are not doing the right right thing. You are not making the right decisions. If no one else give me that kind of sign to say no, why should I say no to myself? So that what kept me going during those moments, because I was thinking, I'm here to show other ordinary people how far you can go. And so that applied to our daily life, daily work. It's not about, if I finish this project, I should get a promotion. Oh, I'm not going to get a promotion this year, so let me just don't bother to do this. Or I'm not feeling well to do this at this moment, and what's the point? I don't see that how going to impact my bonus or impact how my position or anything. It's more about why you are in this job. So if you know you are in the job to be a role model, to help other people, to influence other people, to set an example for your team, then you're going to know, do I want to see my team quit when they say, oh, today I'm not feeling well, I'm not going to come into work? Then you know, all right, I want to set a good example. I want to show them how far you can push, how hard you can try. Then you would say, all right, yeah, I understand everyone feel maybe low at this kind of time, say economy not that great, or there's a COVID. Everyone maybe feel depressed, maybe feel sad. I just want to show how can I make a little bit more effort, be more resilient, show up more. That will set an example for my team. So it's more about going down deeper in your why you're doing this, not about what you're going to gain by doing this.
Oh my gosh, that's so insightful and so powerful when you can hold on to that deep why. And that why, as you said, doesn't have to be because I'm, deeply committed to this kind of passion and this work and something like that. It can be as, I don't want to use the word simple, but really kind of as simple as, I want to be a great boss. I want to be a great team member. I want to be a great colleague, right? Like I want to be a good leader. And that can be super powerful in shaping how you show up even when you don't want to. I'm wondering if you have other insights that you have gained along the way that you want to share with us.
Yeah, I think one of the big things stand out is a lot of time we think we are the only one who is in disadvantage. We are the only one who is suffering. We are the only one who is not ready, who is not prepared, who is not smart enough, who is not qualified. We all come up with all kinds of excuses that we think were totally legitimate. On the climbing, I learned there's one trip near the summit, and I was so excited. I was like, I'm ready for any verdict. If you tell me to turn around, I'm ready. I'm too tired. But my guide didn't even give me that option to say, hey, do you want to go up or down? I said, yeah, I want to go up. Then go. And I said, I'm tired. I said, everyone is tired. I remember that because every time when you feel so exhausted, you don't feel you are not ready, the truth is, who else is ready? No one is ready as you are. We're all same. So when you're suffering, when you think you are the one who has this disadvantage, that weakness, everyone else has something else too. Remind yourself at that moment, keep going. And also, a lot of times we count on other people to save us, to help us. The truth is, the strength has to come from yourself. You have to keep going all the time. There was a time on the mountains that, like on the way down from Everest, so the Everest climb took 2 months. And after the last push go to the summit, coming down from the summit 29 feet to the base camp 17,000 feet is a 3-day journey. And imagine how exhausted you are after the summit. So on the last day, on the way down, the last section is go down through the Khumbu icefall to reach the base camp. And the Khumbu icefall is the most dangerous section on the mountain. It's formed by the debris from avalanches from the high above. So it's not a highway. It's full of crevasses, giant ice blocks. Ice blocks, they can be as big as a house, or they can pop anytime. Avalanche can crashing down on you anytime, and things under your feet could move. You never know because they were just debris stacked on top of each other, not a stable ground. So it's very scary, and even when you are fresh, you have to be utmost vigilant all the time. Then imagine at the end of the 3-day descending, you're so exhausted. So I stood on top of comfort asphalt, looked down, and realized I'm so tired. I may not be able to work out alive. And that's how when you think anything weakening your mind, you weaken your body. So once that thought came through my mind, I like, it makes on my leg, like giving out. I don't think I can walk anymore. Like I felt so desperate. So I called my leader saying, I'm too tired. And I was pleading in a tone that I didn't want to be explicit, but I reply, please send me some help. Maybe someone come to carry my pack for me. Maybe deliver extra bottle of oxygen to help me. After hoping to get some help by trying to play, oh, I'm going to die. I'm too exhausted. And you know what my leader said? My leader said, congratulations. You're tired because you just summited Everest. I'll see you in base camp. Then he hung up on me. I was shocked. I could almost visualize him just probably walking in the base camp with a beer in his hand and talking to me like, hey, all right, congratulations, see you later. At that moment, I was like floored. I said, what am I going to do here? Then I realized when no one is going to come to save you, you have extra strength. So I dig up more energy and realized actually, once I realized I'm the only one in the world going to save me, I was able to stand up again. I was able to keep on walking, even though I was slow, was exhausted, but I could keep on going to come out alive. So I learned a lot of time we have to trust our own energy, own strength, not count on other people's to come to save you. Because when you are relying on other people, you're weakening your own mind, weakening your own body, and then you're going to prove yourself right. You have no energy to go on. But if you don't, you'll be surprised how much more you can dig up and to continue to go. And the other side of this story I want to share is for leaders. Because a lot of time, as a leader, we want to show empathy. We want to be supportive. We want to show our love. But sometimes the best love you can show is a tough love to help your team stay up, stay strong. So that's what my leader did for me. And I forever remember that because I know as a leader, the best support I can give to my team or as a coach to my client is not always show empathy. It's more, I have confidence in your ability. You can handle this. If you absolutely need help, I'm here. But I see you still have a lot of potential. You have a lot of reserve. I want you to be stronger. So when you show that kind of trust, confidence with a lot of love, people will know it's not that you don't love me. It's because you love me, you want me to be strong. So I think that's very important for both sides.
Yes, yes, yes. And I love that you mentioned this factor of having confidence in your people, because it's a very different thing to tell someone, I know you got this, and let them run with it. And then when they're feeling floundering and struggling, and then they don't feel like you're there to support them, it's very different from someone who has the skills and the experience and they have all the right tools, right? They have everything they need. And you can see that in them, as you're saying, like, you know that they can do it. They just need to trust themselves that they can do it too. That is such a gift. And being able to distinguish between someone who really is ready and capable and has all the right tools and has the right skills and can, if they just believe in themselves and go for it, they can do it. And someone who's not quite there yet and does need a little more support, like that. I feel like that's the job of the manager, is to really be able to see your people and know what they need to be able to get themselves to that next, accomplishment, through the next goal, through the next learning experience. I want to circle back to something else you said too about how, everyone was tired, right? Like, it's not just you, like everyone feels unready. I hear this from so many managers that they're like, I didn't even realize what I was getting myself into. And now I don't know what it is to be a manager. No one taught me how to do all these things. And you look around and you kind of think that everybody else knows how to be a manager. But the reality is, like, nobody knows how to be a manager. We're all just trying to figure it out as we go. So, giving yourself a little bit of grace and recognizing, like, okay, this is not just me, this is everyone. And then taking the steps to do something about that, right? Like, you didn't know how to climb a mountain and you went out and you like learned how to climb a mountain, right? Like we don't have to be embarrassed by the things we don't know. We don't have to be, upset that you don't feel as confident as we should. We can go out and do something about that. And I think it's important to kind of lift that up. Why don't you tell us about this Mighty Mouse framework that you have?
Because what I was able to achieve on the mountain as someone so small, so I got this nickname as Mighty Mouse. And when I think about it, what does it mean to everyday life, everyday work is we all show up everywhere. When people talk about imposter syndrome, thinking, oh, I'm the only one who has imposter syndrome, all right? Or I'm the one who not feeling confidence. And the funny thing is, after I coach so many executives, after telling people, hey, even CEO have the imposter syndromes. Everyone feel that. And it's totally natural for everyone. When you start out on anything challenging, you feel you are small. You feel you are invisible. You feel you are not good enough. So every one of us actually feel like a tiny mouse at some point. But the truth, we're all mighty mouse. We all have the power in us if we dig it up. So Mighty Mouse Power, the framework is about how to build confidence, resilience, capacities, so you can play big in a world that sees you small. So for me, it's a workshop, it's a coaching program that I teach my clients how to build confidence, resilience, critical thinking, strategic planning, all the skills needed to be able to play big in this world.
I love it. Can you maybe share like one example or one suggestion of something if people are listening and they're like, yes, I want to play big in a world that sees me small. I want to have that resilience. I want to have that mental strength to keep going. What's one thing that people can take with them and go and try tomorrow? And, when they're in that tough situation or they're in that meeting and they're like not sure if they want to speak up, like what's one great strategy that anyone can kind of employ?
When we think about ourselves as someone not good enough, I don't want to speak up because I don't know if I know the answer. Probably everyone else is smarter than me. They all know better, right? Then we don't want to say anything. Or I want to get that promotion, but I'll wait 1 more year because I'm not ready. I want to build up more of my credibility. And when we think about that, we realize if everyone else is the same, then if you are willing to step up, to shine, then you're going to make a difference in your own life and you set a good example. So it's about leadership, it's about facing the judgment. You have the courage to face the judgment despite whatever excuses you have for yourself. So if you think about the Mighty Mouse spirit, it's all right. Yeah, I'm afraid. Tell yourself next, so what? What can I lose by stepping up? Yeah, people may laugh at me, people may judge me. So what? What do they gain by laughing at you, judge you? And what do you gain by stepping up? Maybe you don't get a promotion this time, even you step up. Maybe you said something not the smartest thing in the room, even you step up to say something. But that makes you stronger. And next time, this is just like a little muscle. Next time, you are even stronger than this. All right, last time I said something not too smart, and people laughed at me, but so what? This time, I can try more. So one day you're going to find, wow, I'm the only one who can say something valuable because you have the courage to keep on trying. And you keep on asking for the promotion, try to promote yourself. You're going to get it one day because that pushes you to be ready. If you never face a judgment, you just suddenly deny yourself all the time. You'll never get the opportunities. To be the Mighty Mouse, always like, so what? What do I have to lose? And realize, if I try, I'm to gain experience. No matter what, even it's a bad decision, bad action, you'll learn something. And you're not going to learn without trying.
Oh my gosh. I love this. I feel like this is the perfect place for us to wrap up here. Like, can you tell us about a great manager that you worked for and what made this person such a fabulous boss?
Actually, the one app in mind is not someone I worked for. It's more of people who act as a coach, as a mentor in my life. For example, in my training for Everest, I thought I was working pretty hard, but I wasn't making good enough progress. So I blamed the program. I complained to my coach, said, I need a better training program. I'm not getting what I want. And my coach looked into my eyes and said squarely, do you know what's your biggest weakness? I don't know, he said. It's your mental strength. You are mentally weak. You're not pushing yourself hard. It's not the program. If you are not pushing yourself hard, no program can do you the benefit. So that is tough love. That is the honest truth. That learned so for me is as a coach, as a leader, lots of time we need to be honest, not sugarcoating opinions, feedbacks, because that's the best for your subordinate. But when you speak that honest feedback with a lot of love, you make a huge impact in their life. For me, that I remembered all the time, think about my client, like, do I want to please my client to say something, make them happy, or tell them the truth to help them improve?
I love what you're saying here about that being honest and straightforward and saying it with love, that is actually the gift that we can give to our team members. That is exactly what your coach gave to you, was by being honest, it actually enabled you to improve. And that when we can do that too. And I love that, because it's such a hard thing to do, but it really makes such a big difference when you're willing to, say, so what? So what if they don't like, right? Pulling it back. So what if they don't like, hearing this? So what if they don't, like me for saying it? At the end of the day, that's what they need to hear. And they will be ultimately appreciative because it will help them improve. So finally, wrap us up here. Where can people learn more about you and keep up with all the great things that you're doing?
Yeah, please go to mightymouthspeaker.com to learn more about my speaking, the coaching program that I offer, the workshops that I offer. And also, I love people to connect with me on LinkedIn. And my LinkedIn handle is very simple. My name is Lei Wang, Leiwang, and that is my ID on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. What an incredible life experience you've had. And I'm just grateful that you're bringing those lessons into the workplace and helping us all be better leaders, better colleagues, and better humans.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor to be here.